And what are they teaching African medical students in their schools? They teach them lies to keep them whitewashed. Our African medical students are blinded not to know that the science of medicine started with their African ancestors. Look at tetracycline. Tetracycline is an antibiotic first found in the bones of Africans in Nubia and used by Africans 14 centuries ago, before the entire Europe came into the record of history in 833 BCE. The whites started using it in America in the 1950s. Meanwhile, Africans have been involved since around 2,700 years ago. In 2800 BCE to 1500 BCE, Africans like Imhotep and Queen Hatshepsut have already started the science of medicine and women's health, known today as gynecology. The oldest medical school in the world was established in Memphis in Egypt around 2780 BCE during the Egyptian Third Dynasty. Imhotep, the first multi-genius and the first human being on earth to be deified to the status of a god, diagnosed and treated over 200 diseases in his lifetime, including tuberculosis, epididymitis, and arthritis. He was the first human being on earth to carry out a systematic method of surgery in Kemet. It was from his knowledge in surgery that other generations in Egypt later wrote a medical paper known in modern times as the Edwin Smith Papyrus around 1600 BCE. Around 1550 BCE, Africans wrote the Ebers Papyrus, a medical paper showing Africans performing Planned Parenthood and involving in the medical science of women's health. Africans had breakthrough in astronomy. It is historically recorded that the first people to study the movement of the moon, the stars, the planets, and the sun were a group of Africans known as the Dogons in Mali. Without a telescope, they were able to penetrate beyond the sky. The Dogons started the science of astronomy 4,500 years before any stories in the Old and New Testament was recorded. Africans were the first to carry out a cesarean section in Uganda, where both mother and child survived. It took the Europeans hundreds of years to achieve such perfection. In fact, in the 19th century, European explorers sat and watched as Africans performed the C-section. This was after lots of mothers and their children died in the hands of European doctors in Europe. They couldn't perfect the C-section as the Africans did. The science of smelting steel was first done in Tanzania by black-skinned Africans, and there was no Rome or Greece in existence at this time. The Europeans were still in their caves in the Ice Age, hunting animals for survival. Meanwhile, Africans have already built the oldest university in the world, known as the Al-Kairouan University, which was established in Fars, Morocco, around 859 AD. Africans had the Al-Azhar University, established in 970 AD in Cairo, Egypt. The fact is that these universities predated the universities established in Europe today. It was mostly from these universities that the first teachers of European universities were educated. As lovers of knowledge, I implore you to grab a copy of the book, The Untold History of the Black Race and the Fall of African Civilization. Work is a revolutionary work, and it is a revolutionary work that will liberate Africa you are supporting.